All right. Um, so I briefly mentioned this before, but I am going to show you like step by step how to use Git and start like contributing to Twinleaf if you're interested. Any help would be great, like just even creating like the simplest bits here and there would be awesome, much appreciated. And I figure, I mean, it's a great way to get into coding somewhere. Um, so I'm going to try to help you guys through the toughest part, which is just getting set up and learning how GitHub works and Git. Um, GitHub is like the online service for hosting Git repositories, um, which is like a way to collaborate and do version control and all that. Really, you don't need to know a whole lot. It's just you'll interact with it here and there, and then you'll get more and more used to it as you interact with it more. What we're going to do is you're going to go to the repo here, which is you can find on the Discord. In the community dev channel, in the pins. Also, if you're going to be contributing, please read through most of the pins if you can. There's some like rules for contributing. I think they might be mildly out of date. I want to say somewhere he says to include a photo when submitting a PR, but we're actually going to have you guys do videos. I made a ton of PRs in the past. You can like look at those if you want to see what they look like. Anyhow, the repo. So you're going to click this link here. That'll take you to the repo. You're going to have to either sign in or create a GitHub account. So you will do that. You will fork the repo. So this is creating a copy of all of Twinleaf on your own account. And it will be sort of inherently linked to the main repo for Twinleaf. So you'll click fork. It will have you do something. I already have a fork, so I'm just going to use that. I don't think you'll get caught up on this step. Hopefully you don't. If you do, ChatGPT and Google are your friends, or you can always come to the community, what's it called? Community Dev Kitchen channel here, and someone would be able to help you out, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, get used to Googling and like ChatGPT for help, because I'm sure you'll need to at some point. So you're going to go to your fork once you've forked it. It should say like forked from this source. What you're going to do now that you have a fork, you want to find Visual Studio Code. You're going to download this. You can use whatever you want that is similar, has the same function. I imagine if you're watching this, you don't really have any preference already. Maybe you do, but VS Code is a great place to start. I use Cursor, which is literally the same thing, just with a bit better / different AI features. But VS Code is like perfect because I think the AI is, you have an allowance that you can use. Anyhow, that doesn't matter. So you're going to download this. You're going to set it up. You are going to, let me open my Visual Studio Code. Again, if you get stuck on this stuff, Google's your friend. Many people, I'm sure, have needed help getting set up. I mean, I'm assuming you just download. It's been a while since I got Visual Studio Code, but it's probably just like download to your computer and that's it. You will need to go to here now, the source control panel. I imagine you'll have to sign into Git / GitHub from here. If you aren't already, You will need to be signed into Git. I actually don't know whether it's Git or GitHub that you're signed into. I'm assuming it's GitHub. Yeah, it must be GitHub. That would make more sense. Then once you do that, you're going to go to this clone repository thing. You have these tabs here. This one's files. This one's to search your files. This one's to manage Git. So like version control, that type of stuff. So you want to be here. You're going to clone a repository. Clone from GitHub. This might be where it signs you in or something. I don't know. You're going to choose the thing that you just forked. I usually, well, yeah, just choose the thing you just forked. It should have your name / Twinleaf GG, I'm assuming. It's going to ask you where you want to have that saved. So what you're doing right now when you clone is you're taking your fork and you're cloning it onto your own computer. So we created a copy of the original like main Twinleaf repo on your own account. Now we're taking that copy that's on your own account and putting it on your machine, whatever you're working on or working from. So it's like a copy of a copy. You're going to save that wherever you want to. I imagine that your like root directory is probably best. You do you. So I'm going to save it here. It's going to clone it. Would you like to open the clone repository? Yes, please. That would be lovely. Now you're brought into VS Code and you have your Twinleaf stuff here. So from here, you can kind of pick up from where I left off on my first video. For creating a card, I guess. You know what? Yeah, let's make a quick card. Just so that we have something to do an example of like pushing a card. So I'm going to go server, and you'll see what that means in a little bit. Basically, since you have your own copy on GitHub, your forked repo, we need to make the changes on your device of like adding a card or whatever. I just realized there's another step we have to do. But yeah, so you have to make the changes on your device. You then have to push it onto your forked repo, so the one that's like in GitHub on the cloud. Then from there, you have to go from that fork and then create a pull request. So you're saying like, here's the changes I made in my own copy. Let's implement them into the main thing that everyone uses. That's like the larger scale of what we're doing here. The thing I forgot, that's like the main reason I'm making this tutorial, is we have to get this set up. So what that means, where the heck? Okay. We have to go to the README. It's in your fork or just the original. It's literally the exact same thing because it's a copy. We're going to follow the instructions here. I might fumble through this. I don't know. We'll see. I tested earlier, and so it should be fine. But if not, you'll get to see some working my way through it with the help of Google and ChatGPT. So what we're going to do, and I don't even know. So, okay, sorry. First, you need to install Node.js and SQLite 3. These are, once again, extremely Googleable. So Node.js, there's download. So you'll install that, do whatever you gotta do. Again, Google is your friend. as well as us, community dev channel, if you need it. And then same thing for SQLite. I'm sure you can just Google how to download that and install it. This is not the same thing as installing for these. It's a prerequisite. These are prerequisites for you to do before you install these these dependencies, I guess they're called. So I'm going to copy this. There's a little handy copy button here. What we're going to do, I kind of glossed over this before, but I click this little thing right here, toggle panel. That opens up all this stuff. The one we're going to be using is terminal. So you'll see you are inside. If you've never used terminal before, you can like learn the very basics. You won't need to do much that isn't just like copying and pasting commands into there. You can access Git through the terminal. I generally don't, because the UI on GitHub is like so much easier. And even the UI in VS Code itself is just easier because I'm not super familiar with using Git from the terminal. So you don't have to worry about it too much. You'll pick up on some basics, I'm sure. Google what you need. Tangent, sorry. Okay, so we're installing dependencies. So what you're going to do is copy it, paste it. I don't know that this is 100% necessary, but I think it is. I'm doing it from inside Twinleaf, the original Twinleaf folder. Yours is probably just going to say Twinleaf GG rather than Twinleaf GG1, because this is like the second copy I have on here. So that downloaded some dependencies. It says like there's this stuff. You don't really have to worry about it. You can probably deal with it if you really want to, but you don't. No need to dive into that. So we're just going to follow the instructions here. Installing dependencies, adding a new file named .env in the main ptcg server directory. Okay. ptcg server directory is this one. So I'm just going to right click, new file, .env. Lovely. That's not what we're pasting in there. We are pasting this. Straight up, no idea what this means. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Then build the project and start it. What I have found is so in the ptcg server directory, what this means in a terminal, you use cd, which I'm pretty sure stands for current directory. So this is how you like navigate your folders in the terminal. You'll write cd and then just the folder name. So I want to go into ptcg-server. I'll hit enter and see now I'm inside. This is like where I am in the terminal. So in the terminal, you sort of like navigate through your files on your device. And this is where I am. So now that I'm in here, I'm gonna run npm install again, like it's not a step on here because I don't know, this is just what I found that works. I like ran into the errors if I didn't do this before. So I don't know, someone can correct me in the Discord. They probably know better than me. I'm just doing what works. So I'm clicking install. We're gonna install more things. Lovely. Done. Now it says to build the project and start it. So you will do npm run build. This is all still within the server. So you'll go to, or you'll just type in npm run build. You can also just copy it off of where it was. I'm going to do this. Hopefully we don't get any errors. We'll see. It'll probably take a little bit. Okay, so this part, don't get tripped up too much. It says there's a whole bunch of errors and issues. You don't have to worry about it. These are more of like recommendations than they are anything else. yeah, just pretend that didn't happen and you'll be fine. So then in the instructions here, it says to do npm start now. I am pretty sure that's just not the next step at all. You have to do npm run compile, I believe it is. Yeah. And so this is going to do a second round of like building stuff, compiling things so that the machine can like read it basically. Looks like that is good. Lovely. Now it says we're on to the next step for the client. I don't think I mentioned this earlier. There's two parts. I kind of mentioned this in another video, but there's two parts of the Twinleaf. There's the server where all the pieces of the game are essentially, and then there's the client where like all the game itself runs. Is kind of how I understand it, and that is PTCG play. So for this, the client is an Angular application. Don't know what that means. I mean, I'm sure it's just like the framework or whatever it's built on. First, you must build the server, then the client. We did that. Lovely. Server's built. Actually, it did say to do npm run start. I forgot to do that. So we're going to do npm run start. We're going to do npm run start dev. I don't know that it matters, and honestly, I don't know what difference it makes. I just know that that's what I do, and it works. I'm sure there's like dev stuff in there. Joe could explain it better than I, but yeah, give it a sec. So this is going to start the server, and it will just be like kind of sitting here waiting. I'm going to split this in two because we need to have both. We need to have like two terminals open, and so this is going to do that. Okay, forgive me while I fumble with this. Lovely. Okay, no, yeah, that's fine. So I'm gonna navigate out of this back to where I was. That's basically what this means. I think it means like the directory before the one we were in, the directory before that, and then like that directory or something. I don't know. I forget. I just know that that's what it is. So then, sorry, we're in this folder now, in like the main one. We're gonna cd into ptcg dash play. Ta-da. And now we're gonna do this stuff. So once again, we are npm installing. I'm curious to see, there was a thing with like node versions being weird at one point. I don't know if that's still the case. If it is, I think there's stuff in like the previous chats about it in the dev kitchen. You can like search for it, or you can just Google or ask somewhere. Hopefully it's fixed now though. I think it is. So yeah, we did npm install. I'm kind of all over the place right now. I don't know why. Had a lot of coffee today. We're gonna npm start. That's just straight up not the thing that you do. You npm run start local. I would not doubt that this works, but that's just not like what you do really. So when you say start local, you're starting at like running it on your own machine. So I'm going to do that. That looks scary. It's not. It's just saying like, don't deploy this. This is just for use like when testing things, basically. But it looks like it's working. Let's see. It manually like fixes stuff. And I think I don't. We can talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. So it looks like it compiled. Lovely. This is great. Everything is good. So it is running now. So you have your server running on this terminal, your client running on this terminal. If you scroll a little bit up on here, you'll see where you can like access it. And this part is like your moment of truth. You'll copy this, or you can like do that and follow it. You'll copy this into your browser, and oh my gosh, there it is. You will have to create a new account because this is like it's not the Twinleaf you're used to using. It's the one running on your machine, completely new instance. So you have to create an account. You might have to create an account like often, depending on how you do things. That's fine. It's normal. I'm just going to move to these ones. These are the exact same thing, just like the tabs I have bookmarked. I usually open 2 tabs because to test, you'll want 2 tabs for you to like challenge yourself on and play against yourself. So yeah, I mean, it should work. Look at that. We are in Twinleaf. All right. That is like all of the setup, which is amazing. There is one other thing that I want to go through, and that is submitting a PR. I'm going to make a quick card. Let's do something simple. I'm trying to decide, do I want to do like a reprint or do I want to do like an actual card? I kind of just want to do a reprint. I don't want to make a whole card right now, even if it's like a simple one. Let's see, what has a full art? Karina. I don't think that's in. Let's just double check that's not in. Yeah. So this is where you'll like follow the other videos I made and just make whatever you need to make or want to make. I can close out of these. Again, if you like want to learn more about how VS Code works, do it. I mean, I don't know, there isn't a ton to learn outside of like what I showed in the other videos, but explore, have fun with it. We are making a reprint of Karina. This is in Furious Fist. I might have to make a new like other prints. Oh no, there's another prints thing. The yellow here just means there's something in there that's been like modified. When we compiled it or built it, it like fixes things on its own. And that's what all these modifications here, the little M stands for, and like why so many things are yellow. I don't know what to tell you to do with those because they're going to be here in your like changes. So anytime you make a change, it's not going to be clear. Actually, you know what I'll tell you to do with those? I will tell you to take all the ones that aren't these top 2. Like shift, click down through all of them. Select them all and then discard changes. I think that's probably best. So those changes should be made at some point, but I don't think it is on you to make them. I think if like Joe wants to fix them, he can do that himself. That's what I'll say. So this is like where your profile, you can't open it in VS Code, but this is where your like profile and stuff and decks are going to be stored. So if you want to just like keep this in your changes and not mess with it, that will keep your profile so that you can just always like press login without having to create a new account. So if you like discard this, you'll just have to create a new account again and like import a test deck or something or create it again. So yeah, that can live there. No idea what this file does. And that is all right. Oh my gosh. Gotta stay on task here. Okay. Karina. Like all over the place. Karina. We're gonna import Karina. We're gonna do that. We don't need all this information, I don't think. What number is it? It was 111. The name's gonna stay the same. We don't need to fix that. That's even gonna stay the same, but I will keep it there. Karina will add the number to this so that the deck editor knows that and the database knows that it's a different card altogether. We don't need this text that was suggested by AI. Okay. Index it real quick. I like to keep the other prints separate. I think I've done that on a lot of sets, but some sets aren't. But whatever, it's fine. We want to import wait. Why is that like not? Hold on. Import Karina FFI. There it is. And I'll create a new instance of it and then save. So now you'll see, once you saved, the changes show up here. So you change the index and it'll show the changes, which is like really nice. And same thing here, show the changes you made. Yeah, and so then whenever you like save a file, the server will automatically sort of restart itself. So it just did that. So now if we go in, there it is. Haha, beautiful. All right, so that worked. When you're submitting a PR, which I'll show you in a sec, when you're testing your stuff that you made, you are going to need to screen record, or if you're really in a pinch, you can like record with your phone, but like, I mean, it's not great. If you can, screen record. If your laptop doesn't like explode from it. My old one kind of did sometimes. New laptop's good though. So you'll need to like record the testing that you do, and then upload that to GitHub. I'll like show you that in a little bit. Yeah, I guess that's probably good. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take these files. You are going to press this little plus here. It says stage changes. You're gonna stage them. So like press it. Now it's under stage changes. Then you can press commit. It's gonna ask you to enter a message. You could have like entered it here beforehand, but I didn't. So this is a Karina reprint, or it's called a full art print. Sure. Then there's this little tiny check mark up in the right hand. I don't know why it's so small, but you press that. Now you will see down here, this is a record of all the changes that have been made, like ever. This was when I was on a rampage of adding cards. Those were ridiculous. But yeah, a log of like all the changes that have been made. You will see yours up here now that we've committed it. This will be the change that you made. So what should I tell you to do here? I will mention, if you make a commit and then like right after you realize like, oh shoot, I forgot to add something, you can either fix it and then like do another commit, which isn't ideal. You can also go to commit and undo last commit, and I'll just like straight up undo it if you haven't synced it yet, which I will mention now. Will I? I think I can, no, yeah. So you can just push it, I think, because this is linked to your fork. Sorry, I think I did it wrong in the past because I just didn't know what I was doing. I think you can just press push here. Let's see. Hey, yeah. So that, now when you press push, that means that the changes you made on your local device that we just saved and committed, those are pushed into GitHub. So if I go back into GitHub, nope, this is the main page, not there. In your own fork, and I refresh, you will see 1 commit ahead and 2 commits behind. Someone must have just added something. That's fine though, that's whatever. So the 1 commit ahead is the one that we just made. If I refresh this. Oh no, wait. Yeah, I guess someone just added something, whatever. So that, yeah, the 1 commit ahead is the one you just made. If we click to go back to the original, I'm trying to remember how to do this because it's been so long. Yeah, 6 minutes ago. Let's do Joe. If I click 1 commit ahead, here we go. This is what you want. So here, once you find your commit, sometimes if you're not any commits behind, it'll just say it'll prompt you to create a pull request or something, I think. But you'll just want to find your commit, and then this should all be right by default. It's saying that the repository that you made your commit in is getting, you're doing a pull request into this one, which is yeah, that's correct. That's the original. That's the one that we forked and made. So we'll just click create pull request. It'll come up with the title of your thing, the thing that we put in before. Here, so this is where you're going to upload. You can paste, drag, drop files in. So you're gonna upload your video here of you testing the card that you made. It might be multiple. If there's multiple effects that you tested on there, then put all of the videos here. The thing is, there's a file capacity limit, I think, and it's not very big. So I guess on Windows it might be fine. I don't know. On Mac, by default, screen recordings are in some ridiculous format where the file size is huge. So I use this thing called Handbrake. And this, I'm just gonna cancel, but this will let you choose a video and it'll output it in MP4 format. There's also ones online that I used to use a ton, or it'll convert it to MP4 format. There's I think it was MLV to MP4 converter. This is probably a terrible place to upload videos. I don't know. It seems kind of sketch, but also it works. And I don't really care if anyone sees me testing cards. So yeah, you can upload it here, and there's probably a daily limit or something. I don't know. It's been a while since I used this, but you can use this to convert to a smaller file size, or a smaller to MP4, which tends to be a smaller file size by quite a bit. I guess you could resize the video thing too to get an even smaller file size if you have something that's really long. Anyhow, so yeah, you'll upload your videos here. Maybe write a description if you want, I'll just say this is a test for the tutorial I'm making. Hi, smile. Okay, there you go. Then you can preview it here. I think when you put in your download or your videos, it'll just show up as like a link. Then if you hit preview, you can like actually see it. You'll press create pull request, and then Joe's gonna be really confused why I'm creating a pull request for a full art, is what it is. And that is all you will do. You probably won't have this because you won't have access to it. So you just kind of wait for one of us to see it, review it, and then it will get added in. And that is like literally it. So this whole process, I know it might seem like a lot. If you do a few, you'll like get a feel for the workflow, and it's like pretty simple. You won't ever really have to touch this stuff again. The main thing that you'll have to do, something else I should mention. When you go, so yeah, you can see in the pull request tab, there it is, right there. The main thing to know is that if I can find my fork again, here, every once in a while, meaning like pretty often, or I guess just whenever an update is pushed, you'll want to sync this periodically so that your fork is up to date. And then I think when you do that, you'll have to pull it. So like, I bet I can do it right now, actually. Update branch. Yeah. Now in here, if I refresh, damn. Why? Okay. Oh, there we go. I just had to press pull. So if you press pull, then you will get all like the latest changes from your own fork. Remember, you have to get the changes from the original onto your fork, but then you have to get the changes from your fork onto your machine, onto your computer. And then the server will restart and everything. If you just leave this open, it's like kind of chilling. To exit, this is something that probably isn't intuitive for people who don't use the command line much. If you do on Mac, it's like options, is it control? It's control C. So on Mac, not command, but control C will exit you out of like the running, whatever's running in your terminal. To go, to like do whatever you've done before in your terminal, you can literally just press the up arrow and it will like go through all of them. So you can see the history basically, which is super handy. And then you can just like press enter and run it again. Of course, you can always, if you like completely close out of everything, you can always come back to this tutorial and look at what you need to do. What else is there? Oh yeah, so that's the other thing I was gonna say. Whenever you update, yeah, I'm gonna say whenever you update, I don't do it every single time, but you definitely should. You should exit out of the PTCG server one and npm run compile. And that will just like build everything again, so that if there are any changes that were made that like need to be updated, like compiled, honestly I don't fully understand it, but it'll apply some of the updates and it will make things not error or fail or be weird. Yeah, I guess that's it. This went way smoother than I expected, honestly. Hopefully it goes smoothly for you guys as well. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. I don't think I am. Have some fun with it. Try out making some cards. Yeah. All right. Hope this works. Feel free to ask any questions to Google or ChatGPT or the Community Lab channel. Here. This is like completely open for anyone to come like troubleshoot or discuss like how things should be done, or I don't know, ask any questions. Yeah, you guys can figure it out. Okay, that is it. Hope this works. Let me know how it is. Any feedback would be great. I will talk to you guys soon.